Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets. Sunday at 1. Steelers favored by 2.5 here. Elijah Vera Tucker, by the way, out for the season.
Yeah.
For the New York Jets. This just happened yesterday or 2 days ago. The over-under is just 37.5 from FanDuel. Aaron Rodgers, revenge game against the Jets.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that part is fascinating. The Justin Fields at quarterback thing is always kind of interesting. He is a dynamic playmaker. Even if you don't think he's going to get any better as a quarterback, the dude can make special plays and turn, nothing into something. So, yeah, how that whole dynamic works. It's a real bummer for the Jets that they lost Vera Tucker. He's a good offensive lineman. The guy's got some rough injuries in his history, which is unfortunate because that line – could be good, could have been good. That's a big blow to lose one of those 5.
So we've talked up the Steelers' defense quite a bit.
Yes.
This offseason. Derek Harmon, the rookie first rounder, he's out. Don't know what's going to happen with Cameron Hayward. I think he snuck back into practice finally and should be out there. But the Steelers look loaded up front. You have that injury from the Jets. The Jets, as I've said before, they're interesting to me because Fields has this way of kind of like shortening the game and just playing these close, tight games. He did a pretty nice job with Pittsburgh last year. Can they keep it close? I think the Jets have a chance to live in 2 extremes offensively, and I want to see if they play that game. Do they try to run the ball like crazy, lean into Justin Fields, the 1-2 punch of Breece Hall,
and disrespectful runs?
What's that? Like 3rd and 6, right? Braylon Allen as well. So they could have this 3-tiered running attack because they don't have the best pass catchers, and Fields is an inconsistent thrower.
And they've shown some inclination to those disrespectful runs in preseason. Like they have had plays of 3rd and 6 or whatever, obvious passing situations, and they've just been like, nah, we're running the ball, and either picking it up or running it because they think it's 2 down territory, right? 3rd and 6. We're going to run the ball on 3rd down. If we don't pick it up, we're going to run it again on 4th down. Get 2 shots to pick up 6 yards.
So I think that brings a little volatility, a little game-shortening ability of the Jets to keep games close, and then you just kind of see what happens. Win some turnover battles, convert those 4th downs. I think they have the chance to do that and make things be feisty. And then defensively, Sauce Gardner on the back end, freshly paid. Do they play as much man coverage as they did previously? That also gives you the chance to just get off the field on 3rd down, make things tough for the offense. So that matchup in particular, right? So the Jets' ability to play tight man coverage against a Steelers team that's DK Metcalf and question marks as far as the receivers go. So can they, Sauce Gardner versus DK, by the way, just as a straight head-up matchup, looks fantastic depending on how Sauce is deployed. By the way, Sauce has been mostly playing on one side, much like Richard Sherman through the years. Do they start moving him around? Do they start playing matchups? So
there's some back.
And how does he bounce back? Yeah, coming off his worst year.
Yeah, I mean, it was not a good year for Sauce Gardner. I think a lot of the criticism is a little bit overblown and almost as a sort of finally is an opportunity to jump on him as a prospect or as a player. Does he bounce back after a relatively rough year? Does this defensive scheme play to his strengths more? And that's even if that's the reason he bounces back. So that whole thing is going to be interesting. The Jets run their propensity to run the ball and aggressiveness on 4th down. That might make this offense extremely difficult just to get off the field. Like if Aaron Glenn is looking at it in those terms, right? Sure, my quarterback might not be the most efficient guy in the world, but he's incredibly dynamic as a runner, and I'm willing to use all 4 downs almost all of the time, the way Dan Campbell did in Detroit. Like if that's the thing that he's taken from Dan Campbell, the Jets are going to be very difficult just to get off the field because 4th and 3, Justin Fields is one of those quarterbacks that is capable of taking any play and picking up 3 yards, right? Just because he's so freakishly athletic.
Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that. Hit that subscribe button, and now let's get back to the action. And I don't know what you want to do with this, but Fields, I believe, is 8-4 in his last 12 games, his team. Yeah. So the end of his run in Chicago, remember they had a bit of a run to the point where they were debating, do we actually pick Caleb Williams? Or at least people were debating, do we pick Caleb Williams or roll with Fields because we've turned it around?
It wasn't a slam dunk.
Right. And then they started 4-2 last year in Pittsburgh with Fields before he got benched for Russell Wilson. So for whatever that's worth, That's a data point that is most recent in Fields' career where, again, I believe the rushing value that he brings, much like a lot of the college games that you're watching this weekend, it's guys that are very inconsistent throwing the ball, but they do enough with their legs to add value and keep games close, and they can, even when it's ugly from a pass game perspective, you can win. And then anytime a 40-year-old quarterback goes out there, not that the cliff thing or the arm thing, I think a lot of that's overblown, but just want to see it, right? Want to see Aaron Rodgers' arm, want to see the first couple times he takes a hit, how he bounces back, and then the tackle situation for Pittsburgh as well. Protecting him.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, a real thing to monitor. What does that tackle position look like for Pittsburgh, and how big?
Jermaine Johnson's back. Will McDonald with his speed rush and his spin move against Broderick Jones, like that.
How big of
could get a couple wins there?
Yeah. How big of a problem is that going to be for the Steelers? Because that could genuinely undermine their entire season.
So,
with the retirement of the great Jason Peters, Aaron Rodgers is now the oldest player in the NFL and therefore the closest player to our age in the NFL. So even though you might be able to personally relate to Matthew Stafford the closest because you're two old guys with a bad back, Aaron Rodgers is actually the closest thing to our age in the NFL right now.
Peters was our draft class, 04. Rodgers is 05. He's not in our draft class.
But he was young for that relative to Peters.
So he's.
So it was a few years.
Now, he's still 3 years younger than my friend Rich Hill, who threw in a Major League Baseball game this year at the age of 45.
Yeah, but just go out there and throw something. It's not the same.
Oh, yeah. It's a piece of cake. 45. All right, man. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think the Jets, I don't know what the final record is for the Jets. I don't know that it's great. But I feel like they could be just a team that's difficult to play. Then I'll cite the thing I say every year as well. There's no line that's the biggest line this week is 8.5.
Yeah.
Right?
Weird stuff happens.
In every year, it's like, it's the league, parity, and there's not a lot of big, like in 3 weeks, a bunch of these teams look awful, and there's going to be 12-point spreads and 13-point spreads.
It's not an indication of parity; it's an indication of uncertainty.
Uncertainty, absolutely. And the Jets have some uncertainty to their game right now.
Both teams do. Yeah, I mean, look, there are weird stuff happens in week one all the time, just independent of anything else, and we don't really know these teams yet. We think we do. We can look at them on paper and you can project what they're going to be. But ultimately, I mean, every year you're surprised by teams that come out of nowhere, by teams that you thought would be good that aren't. Like, week 6 in the NFL looks very different from week 1 in the NFL, even with very little changing in terms of injuries or whatever. So, yeah, it's another game with a lot of unknowns. It's going to be fun.
All right, make a pick, man. Steelers by 2.5 with the over-under, just 37.5.
I'm going with the Jets. I think that people are being a little too negative on the Jets. I actually think they're going to be a very difficult team to just beat because of, again,
all the factors we've cited for months now.
And hopefully this was a real thing, that Aaron Glenn is going to be that kind of Dan Campbell level of crazy aggressive. And I use crazy advisedly, like it's a little unhinged. But I think it's good. If he is willing to do that with a guy like Justin Fields, like Dan Campbell was willing to do it with Jared Goff, who brings nothing in terms of like rushing threat that can offset a numerical disadvantage. Justin Fields, you can go for it in weird situations, and even if you get the play call wrong, he might be able to turn it into a positive play, keep you on the field, and buy you a new set of downs. That is going to make them very hard to beat.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. Jets getting points after I've said they're going to play a tough brand of football that'll keep it close. I'll take the Steelers, though, going with my offseason hype that they have a chance to have one of the best defenses in the league. Don't forget, Jalen Ramsey there, and there's a lot to like about Pittsburgh's defense. Harry's also going to take the Steelers here by the 2.5.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
And the all-knowing algorithm is convinced you'll also like these videos, and who are we to argue?